What's good? What's happening, man? Uh-oh. I ain't realized this didn't go through my radio just now. So whatever, but so little real. You feel me? I'm driving, so it's like a drive time real quick. Um, so what I'm looking at, just got up, thinking about some things, listening to some things, and I realized, a lot of people, we talk a lot about game, but the thing we don't talk about is it's not real. It's just a game. And because it's just a game, we don't look at it properly. So the proper way to look at it is like, man, it's a lot of game out here, but it's so little real. And the fun part about that is, at the end of the day, people don't take into consideration that it's going to always be a game. It's going to always be game. And people are backwards with the game. And what I mean by backwards is, at the end of the day, a lot of people are backwards in the sense of they're looking for something real, but they run game. And when they find real people, they run game. And when they find people that run game, they want to be real with them, which is part of being backwards. But I don't necessarily say I digress, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, if you're not going to be real, you always running game. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. So much game, so real. What am I? All right. Hold up. Okay. So part of the reality of these situations is always within that there's a lot going on, and at the end of the day, nobody wants to admit that sometimes it's too much. It's a scam. It's a hustle. What the heck is that? Wow. I don't know what the heck going on with this right now. But ultimately, it's always something. Y'all gotta excuse me because I'm sitting here driving and for some odd reason, part of my system is going left and right. So it is what it is. Anyway, so if you want to game somebody or hustle somebody, you got to do certain things to get them attracted to you. You got to do certain things to get them on your team, and that's part of the hustle. You got to make them feel special, make them feel important. You don't really care about them. You don't really think they're special. You don't really think they're important, but you got to put it out that way that, I like you and I need you. I desire you. I think you're the best thing since, peanut butter and jelly on lightly toasted bread. Well, to do that, if you really don't like them, you got to run game. But why are you running game on them? Because you want something from them that they wouldn't give you if you were honest. So it's a hustle. And part of that hustle is because, you want somebody to basically give you something for nothing. Part of the game, part of the mouthpiece is both men and women. So it's not just like, oh, it's the men type of thing. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, even if people are in here, I have no idea. I have no idea. But what winds up happening is, okay, I'm headed out, so y'all gotta excuse me. So what winds up happening is, so yeah, like I said, we back. So one of the things about it is, I think it's better if it connects this way. So we gonna see. If it's connected that way. Uh-oh. Damn, it's really not connected to my phone. Anyway, one of the crazy things about this is in general that at the end of the day, if you're confident, you got game. But a lot of the, if you're confident in the space of handling game better than people when you're trying to get over or hustle somebody. That's very much so true. You are very confident. You can handle the pressure and the stigmatism and the nervousness of trying to quote unquote run game. But the game is always based in, what game is based in fear. It is. And because it's based in fear, it's never really, it's because it's based in fear and deception. It's never going to be real. And what winds up happening is if you run games so long, you'll never be real. Because everything, people view being real as somebody running game. Why? It's because that was a game that they used to run. I'm the realest, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm true, I'm this, that, and third. The actions don't say that. The actions say quite the opposite. When the rubber meets the road, you ain't as real as you said you was. So part of that is problematic. And they problematic. But it's funny now because thinking about it, it's like, so you running all this game, the reward is normally something frivolous. Why I'm saying frivolous is because game to get sex. If you would have been real, you could have got sex. You ran game to get resources out of somebody. But if you was real with a person, they would have just given it to you out of on strength because they my bad. But the thrill is in the fact that I could use you. Okay. I don't know what part it cut off on, but part of game is being smooth enough. Man, I'm gonna have to do this later if we keep doing this. But part of the game is hoping people is being good at making people. That's part of the game. And the thing about that is you want people to buy into, and if they buy into it, you're skillful at running game. But the thing about it is, though you might, even if you get skillful at it, you don't want somebody to do it to you. A lot of times, game is something that you don't want somebody to do to you. And even like as a man, some women, I want to be talked out of my panties. Well, I'm gonna tell you something about that. I want a guy to seduce me and woo me, and manipulate me into doing things that I don't want. See, one, that gets old. She doesn't want it anymore. Two, she wants it at particular times, and the game is to figure out when you're supposed to game and when you're not supposed to game, which is stupid because she wants to play games. And three, if you're real with her, she ain't gonna figure it out because she thinks everything is the game because she's in her mind playing the game. Are you being real with me this time? You told me it's you is gonna do this, that, and the third. I believe you. Well, yeah, that's all because you was running the game. That's what that was about. He told you what you wanted to hear because you told him in the past that you like being told what you want to hear. So now, why he didn't shut it off? Because telling you what you want to hear, gas your head up, is what you like. But then you want him to cut it off. That ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna happen. So at the end of the day, it's some bull. But if he's real to you, it's hard. See, real is hard to deal with. Game is easy to deal with because game is let me do something slick right now that gets you off, that gets you the attention that you wanted and the validation that you wanted right now, even though it's not good for you in the long term. It just made you feel good. Let me give you that right now. Let me give you this treat. Let me give you this cookie. So once you get it, now you feel great. Then you might wind up when a high comes down, you might feel like you got used. But truth be told, you played yourself because you needed game ran on you. Because a lot of times, people don't want to talk about the responsibility in this of some people want people to run game on them because they don't want to take responsibility for their own wants, actions, and desires. If we put it in the avenue of game, then I can blame you for what I want. Then I can blame you for what I desire. Then I can act like you tricked me. Like, no, nobody tricked you. Nobody tricked you. You just, you needed a scapegoat. And sometimes that's why, sometimes when people have game, you wonder why they're heartless to people, because some of the people that they're dealing with wanted a scapegoat, and that's what they gave them. You got a scapegoat for your action. It's just kind of like alcohol is game. When you're drinking alcohol and you're like, it was the alcohol that made me say those things and do those things and act like that. Well, you already had that in you prior to the alcohol. You just didn't say it. Now that you got the alcohol in you, all of a sudden, the alcohol is an excuse. But those same thoughts, those same feelings, some of those same actions were in you when you were sober the whole time. You just didn't express it. So, blame it on the goose, right? But now, it is what it is. Uh-oh. I didn't really think about that. Let me see. When you blame it on all that other stuff, it don't really matter to you. Okay. Oh, okay. That's what I did. No problem. But once you blaming it on the goose and whatnot, sorry about that. All right. Because you don't have to take responsibility, you never have to, everybody else can be at fault. You can always be the victim. Down. And because this is how I live and how I get down, I'm never going to really be true to myself or true to anything else in life. Come on. Fucking shit. This USB is not bullshit. Okay. Jeez. That shit was difficult. I cannot believe it. So at the end of the day, you got people running game and playing games, doing what they feel like, they need, is necessary and all that good stuff. But they're not being honest. And they're going to continue to not be honest. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't suit them to be quote unquote honest. And when you're honest, that's where a lot of the real things happen. The real happens in honesty and truth. And sometimes people want to be honest and truthful because the game stopped working and they're not getting what they wanted, which becomes a problem because, okay, I'm gonna be real after I played. Well, nobody cares about that now. You get what I'm saying? Nobody cares if you're gonna be real with me now because, we're not cool. We're not gonna be cool. It is what it is. Sometimes when people are being real, they don't need the game. They never cared for the game. And you wind up putting yourself in a position where, okay, if they never care for the game, what am I supposed to do? Because real people scare people who run game a lot of times. Because not only they can't run game, but also there's no use for game when you're just being upfront. There's no use for game if you can say, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what it is. And a lot of times, that's why I said earlier, a lot of people are faking being real because they'll say this is what I am, this is what I want, this is what it is, but they'll backdoor and be something else and want something else. They say it is something else. It's always it's not a true situation where they actually meant what they said. There's always some fine print. There's always a caveat. It was always, this is what it is, but under certain circumstances, I'm subject to change without your notice. My homeboys actually with Colt 45. They crazy as hell. So now we got that issue. You know, we got a real issue on our hands, basically, where you don't want to deal with the reality. And then when somebody is real around you, it forces you to deal with the reality. Now what? And then you know, game, the difference with, you know, so much game is having able to play on people's weaknesses. I can play on your insecurities. You know, if you open up to me, I can play on your insecurities. So just give me a hole to exploit, and I will do that, right? But at the same time, I want your respect if I exploited you for whatever reason, right? I just want your respect, even though I'm a play. And people are like, that ain't finna happen. You know, I'm not finna respect you for being suspect. It's not finna, that's not going down. I hate this shit. The other thing about that, you know, when you're real, you can open up to people. And it's like, okay, I opened up to you. I told you what it is. Now what? You know, now what we doing? And then that puts a person in a sticky situation. Because if you're real with a person, then you let them know, okay, this is who I am, this is what it is. Now, if you're going to use this against me, we done. You use this against me, you might feel my wrath. And then the person like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm like, well, yeah, I've been like, I'm like that too. And all these things with you. That's cool. I do that for you. But if you're not open and honest, but if you take my kindness for weakness and take my niceness, you know, for a hustle, then I'm gonna treat you like a criminal, right? And that's what happens when, you know, you got so much game and so little real. Because real people like, nah. Because think about it. If you lie, you cheat, you know, if you lie, you cheat, you know, you cheat, you steal, you kill. If you lie, you steal, you kill. So people who are being open and honest and real about things, if you use their honesty for a scam, they're gonna look at you like, okay, this is what criminals do. Criminals look for weaknesses so they can get over on people. So I'm gonna treat you as such. You know, you look for opening to steal something from you, and it's not really. It's fair game to crush a thief. You know, people say I'm stealing hearts out here, and it's fair game to crush a thief. Like if you steal hearts, it's fair game that you get crushed if you're stealing hearts. It's not, you're not above that. It's not one of those situations where it's like, well, you know, I'm a really good person, but I made some mistakes. Nobody's gonna care about that part. Nobody's gonna care about that part whatsoever. You know, and that's part of the issue. Like at the end of the day, if you're gonna be real, be real. If you're gonna run game, run game. But the thing about it is, a lot of times, I was listening to a thing that Dame Dash said. He was like, you know, real people get hurt. But you know, and I can feel Dame Dash what he was saying. But Dame Dash wears his heart on his sleeve so much, he forgets all the people he crossed and cussed out and embarrassed along the way. You know, in the vein of being quote unquote real. Hit me up. So what winds up happening is, who probably were more real than he was, but he couldn't make biting his tongue sometimes. Bring that up is because some people, that's part of the game. You know, I'm a proud person. I need to express myself. I can't. I need to say what I gotta say. Well, sometimes your need to do that, you bring other people down, and when you bring other people down, what's gonna wind up happening is they're gonna go their separate ways from you because you don't know how to conduct yourself properly. You don't know how to put yourself in a situation that everybody wins because you're so busy trying to, be real and, do you in a way that it costs everybody around. And some people just, I don't know why people don't get that, but the truth is people don't get that, But if you got the gift of gab, a lot of times the gift of gab, you can talk your way in and out of situations. But the problem with the gift of gab is, and why I'm saying there's so much game is, you don't realize when the gift of gab gets old and people can see and people recognize, oh, they got the gift of gab. You're like, what do you mean? They got the gift of gab. They gonna talk a good game. They gonna, they gonna be the slick talker. They gonna diddy bop on you. I'm the confident one. I got this going. I got it popping. Y'all know me. And they feeling it. They got their swag going. But there comes a point where, people look at it like, all right, man, enough is enough. We ran enough game now. Game is over. We sick of you. We sick of the game. We just, because when you rely on the gift of gab, you never polish being a better person. It's always that talk. It's always that talk. Talk, more talk, more talk, more talk. And I'm not saying you could be very successful. Don't get it twisted. But, you're going to wind up being surrounded with people who are attracted to your gift of gab. It ain't going to be nothing real around you. So it's going to be so much game, but so little. Okay. Dang. When you have that much game, hold up. God might have gave you the gift of gab. Feel like it was God given, but you worked on it so much that you've made it better than it would have. Hold up. But now you're so good with the game, you see all the nuances. But the downside of that gift of gab, winds tell that to somebody else. Run that game on somebody else. And it's like, wait, what? You don't like my text. I'm gonna stop it here, and I'm gonna hit y'all later. Peace.